Israel's defense forces are regularly accused of acting with impunity by human rights groups, but some soldiers are held accountable for their actions in some circumstances. RT's Politik reports.
Using force as an Israeli soldier has consequences. But as it turns out, those consequences depend very much on who exactly you're using that force against. Watch this soldier. He beats a young Palestinian man who is simply watching clashes between the army and young Palestinians. The army's response? Silence. Now watch this video. Two elite combat soldiers shoot dead a camel for no apparent reason. The army's response? To arrest and jail them. We asked the IDF to comment. It took several days, but they eventually sent us an email saying the IDF takes the illegal use of weapons against humans and against animals very seriously. But that doesn't explain why the different responses. Israeli humanitarian organizations complain that most cases of Israeli soldiers assaulting Palestinians are overlooked. Statistics support the claims. In the last 15 years, indictments were submitted for only 5 investigations opened, and most of them had nothing to do with violent incidents. Yesh Din is a humanitarian organization that monitors the army's investigations. It shows that for the 15 indictments served in 2014, 9 of them were for damage to property and bribery, 5 for violence, and only 1 for death.
This creates actually a state of impunity for those soldiers, and it reinforces itself because the Israeli soldiers know that even if they cause harm or even if they commit an offense, the chances that they will stand trial and that justice will be sought is very slim.
The result, critics complain, is a reluctance by the army to indict soldiers for offences committed towards Palestinians, and it perpetuates their ill treatment.
People are not born like this. It's in the air all the time. If you want to keep the Palestinian population under occupation, you have to push them into a certain hole, like second class, third class. They are dark and they are threatening, and some of the people take it very seriously.
As more and more videos circle online and groups take to the international stage, the IDF is likely to be called on even more to explain its actions. Politik, RT, Tel Aviv.
China World News now. At least 80 people were killed in a series of Boko Haram attacks in northeastern Nigeria. You may find the following images disturbing. A mosque outside the city of Maiduguri was targeted by gunmen and suicide bombers, and at least 30 deaths came as 2 female bombers exploded in a town 150 kilometers away. A bomb blast has killed at least 18 and injured dozens in Pakistan. It was in the northwestern city of Murdan outside an office responsible for issuing national identity cards. It's believed the attacker on a motorbike exploded after ramming the facility's gates. Jamaat al-Ahrar, a group connected to the Pakistani Taliban, has claimed responsibility for the attack. A massive storm ripped through Texas, claiming at least 24 lives, including 4 soldiers. An estimated 600 buildings have been damaged. Over the past weekend, floods, blizzards, and strong winds killed 44 people in the U.S., mainly in Texas, Illinois, and Alabama. 6,000 flights were either canceled or delayed across the country. Now, as the rich get richer, the middle class has had enough. Boom bust raises the stakes next. And if you're watching us in the UK, do stay tuned for Larry King as he's joined by the world's most famous harpist, Joanna Newsom.